What's going on, everyone? My name is Eric and this is the Get Me Out of Here vlog. I am standing outside a historic movie theater here on the north side of Chicago, Illinois. This is no ordinary theater. Well, it is. They do show movies here, but this is the famous Biograph Theater. I don't want to hit this biker, but you can see right there the neon lights. It is almost sunset. Engraved in red, the Biograph Theater here in Chicago, Illinois. Now, why is this famous? On July 22nd, 1934, this is where public enemy number one, John Dillinger, famous bank robber, murderer, spent the last minutes of his life seeing a movie called Manhattan Melodrama starring Clark Gable. John Dillinger was in the theater and the theater manager called the Chicago police because he recognized his face and his gang that were in there, and he thought maybe they were going to pull a heist on the movie theater. Well, Chicago police were called to step aside because the US FBI got involved, and they came here, and approximately at 10:30 p.m. that night, as John Dillinger exited the movie theater, he was gunned down by FBI agents in the alleyway right over here. So let me show you exactly where this took place. And here is the entryway. There's the ticket kiosk. I don't know if that's the original one, but who knows? Maybe John Dillinger himself bought his movie ticket to see a Clark Gable movie right here and then went inside. Pretty wild. A lot of gangster prohibition history here in Chicago. Just less than a block away is where it happened. And look at that mural. This is the alleyway that John Dillinger, notorious bank robber, gangster during the Prohibition era here in the United States, met his demise. I am standing in the very alleyway, I think the exact spot was like right here, where the alleyway meets the sidewalk. This is where John Dillinger was shot by 3 FBI agents, bled to death here in this very alley in Chicago. Very cool to see this amazing mural displayed, I guess as a memoriam. You know, John Dillinger was not a good guy. He killed people. He was a ruthless killer, a bank robber. But this is where he met his end at 31 years old, right here in this alleyway. Kind of funny, they have, apparently they have ChicagoCrimeTours.com. They've got a number there you can call if you want to see a tour. That's Al Capone. Now, what's kind of funny here is Al Capone was the original public enemy number one by the FBI. John Dillinger was the second public enemy number one. After Al Capone was put away for tax evasion, John Dillinger became the next public enemy number one and met his demise right here where I'm standing. Even says public enemy right there. Wow. Just wild to think. Gangster history here in Chicago. Now, what's also kind of interesting, there's no plaque, there's no historical marker, it's just this beautiful mural. That's all there is to show what happened, the history that took place right here in this alleyway. This is also a quote, apparently by John Dillinger: "All my life I wanted to be a bank robber, carry a gun and wear a mask. Now that it's happened, I guess I'm just about the best bank robber they ever had, and I sure am happy." Just something else. Now, I've looked at pictures. Obviously, this asphalt isn't the same as it was back in 1934, but there's the Biograph Theater. Here's the alleyway. And looking at pictures, I'm pretty sure like right where the sidewalk meets this alleyway is where John Dillinger bled out to death. And it was said that people at the time, of course, there was a crowd outside the movie theater. When they saw it take place, they dipped their handkerchiefs, they dipped their newspapers into John Dillinger's blood and kept that as a souvenir, if you will. The blood of one of the most notorious killers, gangsters in American history. Now, I've been to John Dillinger's grave. He's buried in Indianapolis, Indiana at Crown Hill Cemetery. It's a very simple grave. So, and I've been here many times as well. But I still think it's weird that there's no historical marker depicting this mural, which has been added in recent years. The last time I was here, about 4 or 5 years ago, this mural was not here. There was no artwork, there was nothing along the wall here, so that is fairly new. I'm glad it's here because, again, there's no historical marker to show this era of history, but at least we have a mural here to kind of depict that, where the gang wars, the death of John Dillinger took place, here on the streets of Chicago. Now, people say that this alleyway is haunted. They say that John Dillinger's spirit haunts this alleyway. I don't feel anything right now. Maybe you have to come here in the middle of the night. Maybe when the atmosphere is just right. I don't know. I'm open to ghosts. I've had some experiences in other places, but I've never met the spirit of John Dillinger. I haven't ever had any weird vibes in this alleyway. And I really don't know how many of these buildings, obviously this building was not here back in 1934, that's newer architecture. This building looks like it could have been here. I'll have to look back through some old photos to see for sure. Certainly something was here because this was an alleyway back in 1934 as it is now. Yeah, I'll have to look back on that. I wanted to say that some of these telephone poles perhaps may have been there right here when that happened back in 1934. They look a little newer than that. They don't look as corroded or rotted as you would think if they've been here for almost 100 years. But yeah, still pretty wild. Wanted to show this off. It's, again, a famous place in Chicago history, and it's supposed to be a haunted place. But this is where John Dillinger, public enemy number one, was shot and killed by FBI agents in 1934. And he died right here that night. Now, one of the FBI agents that shot and killed John Dillinger, there were 3 that claimed to have fired their guns and hit him that night. One of them, his name is Herman Hollis. And I just did a video a few days ago. If you haven't seen that, watch that on fascinating places around the Chicagoland area. Herman Hollis, 4 months after killing John Dillinger, was shot and killed in the Battle of Barrington, here in Barrington, Illinois, a northwest suburb of Chicago, by Babyface Nelson. So after John Dillinger was killed, Babyface Nelson, another gangster of the Prohibition era, became public enemy number one, and there was a shootout, a gun battle with him in November of 1934, just 4 months after John Dillinger was killed, here in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. And that is where Herman Hollis met his demise, unfortunately. He was one of the men, one of the FBI agents that killed John Dillinger. He was shot and killed in Barrington, Illinois, just 4 months later by public enemy number one, Babyface Nelson, who actually died later that night from his own wounds that took place in the gunfire there in Barrington. So a lot of crazy history here in Chicago. Another thing worth mentioning is 1934 was really a big crackdown year on crime in the United States by the FBI. Just before John Dillinger was killed here in this alleyway, Bonnie and Clyde, the famous bank robbing duo, were also shot and killed just the same summer, the same year, 1934, before John Dillinger himself was gunned down here in this alleyway. So just crazy to think all the crime history during the Prohibition era when alcohol was outlawed in the United States. On that 2 cents, I really don't want to pay my respects to an outlaw like John Dillinger, but it is crazy to think that this is where this took place, a legend like him. And speaking of Prohibition and spirits, one of my all-time favorite bars is just over here, literally across the street. It's called the Red Lion Pub. It is it was one of the oldest bars in Chicago, still standing. They tore down the old building about 10 years ago and built a new one. It's got a British manor theme to it, but it is supposed to be one of the most haunted bars in Chicago. Let's go grab a drink there. The Red Lion Pub. Now, this is a refurbished building. They renovated the place, built it new sometime in the last 10 years. I want to say around 2011 or maybe 2012. But what used to stand here, the original Red Lion Pub, was one of the oldest bars in the city of Chicago, here in the Lincoln Park neighborhood, right across the street from the Biograph Theater. And this has a reputation as one of the most haunted bars in the city of Chicago. So let's grab a drink at the Red Lion Pub and talk to Colin. Colin is the bartender, the main bartender of the Red Lion Pub. The guy is a legend here in Chicago, and he's got tons of ghost stories. One of my favorite bartenders to talk to, have a few drinks with. Let's go head on inside at the Red Lion Pub. So this is the Red Lion Pub. You can see it's themed after like a British manor. It's completely unique to any other bar in Chicago. It's one of my all-time favorite places to go to. Grab a few drinks, hang out with people, socialize. Kind of reminiscent of the game Clue, if you are familiar with that. There's a movie that came out also kind of based off the theming of the game, a mystery murder movie in the 80s, kind of a comedy movie. But anyway, this is one of my all-time favorite bars in Chicago, the Red Lion Pub. It's got a long history here, supposedly haunted. But yeah, one of the best bars. I love coming here. And it's right across the street from where John Dillinger was gunned down by the FBI. And that is Colin right there, the legend himself, the owner of this bar, the lead bartender. And he just put up this new sign. It's been a couple years since I've been here, but I absolutely love this sign he put up. Right here it says that he's also a therapist. He's got his name there. He's a licensed therapist, so you can talk to him about all your problems. Over a drink, of course. And all the beers on tap are European beers. They're all German, English, Irish beers here on tap. And he changes them out quite a bit. It's an awesome, awesome bar. Great beers on tap. So yeah, gotta settle for one myself. All right, well, here we are at the Red Lion Pub. Cheers, everyone. I made some friends here at the bar, so cheers. At one of the most haunted bars in Chicago. Absolutely. And here we are enjoying the spirits, as you can see. So,
as we
cheers.
Okay. Cheers.
You happy now?
To the Red Lion.
By the way, I also wanted to comment, these are the loudest chairs of any bar I've ever been to. It's, it's still my favorite bar, one of my favorite bars, but if you're watching this, I'm working on getting, what do they call that on the bottom of a chair? It's like the felt sliders. I'm working to get that for Colin so he can have a quieter bar. The bar chairs sound like Chewbacca. Gotta love the Beatles memorabilia way up on the walls. Fitting with the British theme, that is for sure. So if you come here, you can order a double or a harumph.
That's my sister.
I don't know if those are really drinks, but I like the license plates. Are those really drinks, Colin? The double and the harumph?
Lots of.
Those should be shots. Those are shots. Loving the slogan here. There is nothing by which so much happiness is produced as by a good tavern or inn. Now this isn't an inn. I guess it could be a tavern because it's kind of an old school British theme. Yeah, it's a great bar. I agree. So the original bar here was built in 1881. Most of that has been demolished and renovated into what you see now, which just happened back in 2011, so barely 10 years ago. So this is all renovated to look like a British manor. And it's absolutely gorgeous inside. They do have an upstairs, and it's not open tonight, but I have hung out up there before. There's a few couches, a fireplace, a lounge. It's kind of a cool, quieter getaway to grab a few drinks, a few cocktails, and relax with some friends, socialize. But yeah, this is one of my favorite bars in Chicago. It's just beautiful. an amazing theme to it, a lot of history here, and top-notch drinks, top-notch bartender. One of the best. So far, no spirits tonight, except for this, which is an amazing Scotch whiskey. But definitely keeping my eyes peeled. It's an old historic building, this whole plot of land that was here. Even though this bar was built up, or renovated, I should say, back in 2011, 2012 period, still got kind of a weird feel to it. Maybe it's the old British manor architecture, the interior feel, but yeah, I'm keeping my wits about me, that's for sure. Is it haunted? I don't know. You'll have to come and find out for yourself. Well, this has been a treat today. I hope you enjoyed some of the darker history in Chicago. And when you're in the city, come here to Lincoln Park. Come to this bar, the Red Lion Pub, one of the best bars in the city.
Come to Red Lion.
This guy agrees as well. It's got
Absolutely.
a British theme, as you can tell from the flag right behind me. But I am going to enjoy this Belhaven Stout. And if you don't really know what to order, again, all the beers are European beers on tap. Colin is the man, the bartender here. He's the man in command. Ask him what you like, or ask him what he recommends, and tell him what kind of beers you like. He will pour you one of the best European drinks that you could imagine. So this is a Belhaven Stout that I'm enjoying. Cheers, everyone. This is Eric with the Get Me Out of Here vlog. Thanks for watching. It's time for me to get out of here.